A Valley News Now exclusive. The family of Eastyn Deronjic, a murdered toddler from Moorhead, now speaking out for the first time to our Anna Ballweber about a potential plea deal. The surprising response from the family.
Plus, the very latest on a crash this morning that temporarily shut down part of I-94. Hear what North Dakota Highway Patrol has as the newest information in that incident. And a bizarre story from our sister station in Duluth as a gravesite is eroding into Lake Superior. That shocking video coming up. Valley News Now is live. There I am. Welcome to the Valley News Now digital update, everybody. I'm Devin Fry, bringing you the very latest I've been working on here in the Valley News Live newsroom for today and beyond. A lot of good content to get to, as usual, here on our networks at Valley News Live. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way, however you may be, on a smart TV, the website, our news apps. You can be on the website on your phone, a little bit complicated, but I appreciate you tuning in either way. Don't forget, you can also watch us on smart TVs, whether you have a satellite provider, for example, or you just get us over an antenna. You could tune in to us on the Valley News Now apps on your Roku devices. So just tons of ways to watch us. Now let's go ahead and get into the weather department first. As you can see in the corner of the screen, we've been celebrating that number all week. It's been in the 50s so far, but today a little bit of a slap in the face. 27 degrees. Let's take a look outside right now. This is from our First Alert Storm Team Sky Cam overlooking the interstate, I believe. Shaky cameras, as you know, if you've been outside. The wind has been whipping today, and of course much colder than what we've been seeing for certainly the rest of the week. But enough from me about this. Let's go to the experts right now. Valley News Live First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Summer Schnellbach joins us with more on what we can expect for today's conditions and moving ahead here.
It was a cold and icy start to our day, and now heading into the afternoon, the ice has moved out, the flakes are moving out, but it is still cold. Warming up just a handful of degrees tomorrow, but it's going to be a cold morning with lows in the single digits and teens. This afternoon, upper teens to low 20s in northeastern North Dakota. By the 5 o'clock hour, 20s to low 30s for the rest of the valley, but it feels colder with that wind. The good news is that showers move out, the wind diminishes for the rest of this afternoon. Still a little bit on the breezy side. Cloud cover also clears, giving us some more sunshine later on this afternoon. Another weak disturbance moves in later tonight. That brings more cloud cover and a few light snow showers, though not much, if any, accumulation is expected with that. A little breezy again for tomorrow with clouds clearing out late. A high of 35 for your Friday after that cold morning. We recover for the weekend up to 53 on your Saturday, warming up even more on Sunday. A morning temperature of 31, a little breezy, warming up to 61 for an afternoon high. More unsettled weather on the way for next week. A few showers Monday afternoon, giving way to rain and snow chances Tuesday into early Wednesday, but then high pressure moves in, giving us a bit more of a break on Wednesday. Another system lifts in Thursday into Friday, bringing us more unsettled conditions. We've got that full forecast for you coming up tonight on Valley News Live.
Thank you very much for that update, Summer. Be sure to tune in to Valley News Live tonight, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. But also, if you have a cell phone, which if you're watching this, I imagine you do, be sure to have our First Alert news and weather apps handy. You get all the information exactly when you want it, right at your fingertips, and all of it's free. It sounds like a win-win-win to me. Now let's get into some of the headlines that we have had through the Valley News Live newsroom today. Drivers on I-94 in the westbound lanes near Steele, North Dakota this morning may have run into some delays. A multi-vehicle crash temporarily shut down the interstate near mile marker 191 earlier today. We have a picture from Highway Patrol of what they were dealing with for this crash. Look at that. A semi on its side there. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says the road has since reopened. The detour using westbound exit 200 to Old Highway 10 no longer in effect. We're expecting a full media release from Highway Patrol with more details on this crash. Of course, we're going to have that information for you through all of our networks as that becomes available. An update to a story we had a little bit ago out of Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. 2 men have been sentenced in connection to an ATM jackpotting scheme in Detroit Lakes. Snyder Jose Torres and Anthony Javier Sanchez Paez. We're going to pull up pictures. This is all 4 suspects that were arrested during this incident. Those 2 were sentenced to 1 year in the Becker County Jail and 2 years of unsupervised probation. Investigators say the men were part of a group, which you see here, that attempted to hack into ATMs and force the machines to dispense cash without a valid debit card. Again, that is a method called jackpotting. 2 other men charged in the case are still moving through the court system. Local, state, and federal agencies have all been involved at one point or another in this investigation. Another federal lawsuit filed today for a case in our viewing area. This time, a Minnesota woman has filed a federal lawsuit against Bobcat, alleging she was discriminated against and harassed at the company's Wahpeton facility. Ariel Herrera, a former machinist, claims that after she disclosed her sexual orientation to coworkers in early 2023, her supervisors subjected her to heightened scrutiny, false accusations, and repeated threats of discipline. That's all alleged in the lawsuit filed today in the district court here in North Dakota. The lawsuit also alleges a coworker directed anti-gay slurs at her on the production floor and that Bobcat failed to accommodate a wrist injury as well. Herrera is suing under Title VII, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the North Dakota Human Rights Act. Bobcat has not yet filed a response, but again, this was just a lawsuit that was filed today. Bobcat just now being served with this lawsuit. We'll have a response from them as soon as that's filed through the court system. Again, be sure to stay tuned here to Valley News Live. If you know anything about our digital network series, you know we love to report on scams. And we have one coming through the area according to the Moorhead Police. Moorhead Police warning drivers about a new text message scam. And we have a picture posted by the Moorhead Police earlier today. The department says multiple residents have reported receiving texts claiming to be from state agencies about citations, ticket notices, or unpaid tolls. The messages include links and demand personal information or payment. Police stress that the Department of Public Safety will never text you information or payments over text. If you receive one of those messages, don't click any links, don't respond, do not share any personal details. Contact the agency directly using a verified phone number or website. Again, if you do get any calls or anything from this, please be sure to report those numbers. There are links available online to a national registry where they attempt to investigate these scammers. We've done plenty of stories on this in the past. Be sure to check out our website for more, including a very longer form digital special we did not too long ago where I called one of those scammers personally. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and go check it out. This story is a little bit, it's interesting. A cemetery in Duluth is quite literally falling into Lake Superior, and St. Louis County is racing to stop it. This is video from our sister station, Northern News Now in Duluth. Human remains were discovered on the shore of Lake Superior below Scandia Cemetery near Glensheen Mansion back in 2024. After a crumbling clay bank gave way, the county has applied for a state grant to fund a $2.5 million retaining wall, determined to be cheaper than actually relocating all of those graves. The county's application was unsuccessful last year, but officials do say that this year's bid is a little bit stronger. If funding is approved, construction likely wouldn't begin until spring of 2027. County officials say the erosion is ongoing and they can't wait much longer. Again, literally falling into Lake Superior there, so we're going to stay with that one. That's a very interesting case. Let's get on to our digital exclusive for today. A major development in the case of 3-year-old Eastyn Deronjic, who was murdered in Moorhead 2 years ago. The second person charged in his death, Cheyenne Erickson, is now expected to change her plea. We, of course, broke that news yesterday on our on Valley News Live and here on Valley News Now, as a matter of fact. A plea agreement has been reached with the hearing set for April 7th. Co-defendant Mason Garza previously pleaded guilty. He's serving a 20-year sentence. Tonight, Jessica Bringy sits down with reporter Anna Ballweber, who spoke with Eastyn's family about this latest development. That story coming up here in our digital exclusive. And I want to say, family's not talking to anybody else right now. If you see this story, it is going to be on our Valley News Live networks. This is exclusive to Valley News Live. Anna Ballweber bringing us the very latest on this with Jessica Bringy right now.
Devin, we're hearing from the family of a murdered Moorhead toddler after learning just yesterday the second suspect is expected to accept a plea deal from prosecutors. Our Anna Ballweber has, of course, been really closely following this case. It was about a week ago that you were at the gravesite of Eastyn for a balloon release. And here we are talking about court developments, no longer a court trial scheduled in this case.
Yeah, that's right. So I was at his gravesite, God, it was a week ago. That was his 2-year death anniversary of Eastyn Deronjic of Moorhead. And that was really, really sad. The balloon release was beautiful in itself, but that was something I talked about with family today was, you know, they just heard about this plea deal that was taken by Cheyenne Erickson. And they said so close to his 2-year death anniversary that it's all kind of, it's a lot. It's been a lot for the past 2 years, but hearing this now, it kind of went back and forth for his uncle. He said, I'm glad that all of this is kind of coming to a close, but he actually said he wanted to speak at the trial and he wanted to, hear more details, as hard as it may be to hear those. I mean, that was his boy. So he kind of wanted to hear everything.
Which when we were chatting briefly earlier, I found that a bit surprising. Often families push for closure. They want cases to end. This one going on for 2 years, wanting an end and to feel that justice, but understandably so, wanting some details, wanting some context, maybe getting a little more time to grieve and understand how it got to this point.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And we know the other person involved, Mason Garza, they're currently serving a 20-year prison sentence. So I did talk about that today as well, not completely about Cheyenne, but more about Mason too. And what the uncle said was, there's really no sentence that they're going to be happy with unless it's, I'm going to quote him. He said, justice looks like a life for a life. They took Eastyn's life. They need to sit in jail for the rest of their lives. So I don't know what's going to come out of Erickson's. When's her next, the plea hearing, April 7th?
Yeah,
he's planning to be there. So I guess it's kind of up in the air at this point, but.
Those are some powerful words, and on that, we'll leave it. Anna's, of course, hearing more from the family coming up tonight at 6, so make sure you watch Valley News Live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anna, Devin, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jess and Anna. Always an emotional story, and Anna has gotten very close to it. She has been talking to that family since this incident first happened, and we're about to see it through to the end here. Again, the terms of Mason Garza's plea deal, the other defendant in this case, 20-year sentence there. We'll see what happens with Cheyenne Erickson in her upcoming plea agreement. Now, I said that we were going to retire the road look at the road conditions during this show, but we've got some weather, and so we're going to check it out. Let's take a live look outside right now. Obviously, pretty fine conditions here in our home base, as you can see on the First Alert Storm Team Skycam there. Not a whole lot to worry about. Now, when we head south, that's where things get a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and pull up this road map here. Now, this is, again, our home base here, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo. It's all green here. As a matter of fact, it's all green pretty much all across the state, and then you get down here in Richland County, especially around Wahpeton. That's where we're running into some scattered wet and slushy roads. So again, it's not going to run you off the road or anything like that. Just something to be aware of as you make your way out the door, as you get ready to go home from work or wherever you may have been today. That's not up for me to decide, wherever you were. As long as you just give yourself plenty of time, you should be okay as you make your way out the door. All right, we have about 3 minutes till Valley News Live at 4. Duke Schindler on the desk for that show as usual. Be sure to stay tuned for that. And be sure to stay tuned for the Valley News Now updates here on the streaming platforms later. We have a weather update coming up at 7 like we do every night. And then Jessica Bring is going to be bringing you kind of a recap of the day at Valley News Now at night coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. So be sure to stay tuned. We got you covered all throughout the day, just like we do every day. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon, but for now, for your Valley News Now digital update, I'm Devin Fry.